Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 166. Timeshares make Hawaii vacations less expensive. What I'm going to cover today is I'll talk about the hotel and restaurant prices in Hawaii are expensive, and I'll go through it a little more in detail. Then I'll talk about the timeshare points in Hawaii and similar to the rest of the country. And then I'll talk about Costco prices. So when timeshare, you're sort of stuck with Costco or the local food stores. And then I'll do a comparison of the hotel costs and the timeshare costs for a daily basis. And then there's my takeaways, sort of the summary of what that will all mean. So before I do all that, though, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my channel. I'll be back just in about 30 seconds. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. Okay, so I'm back. So let me talk about the hotel and restaurant prices in Hawaii that are expensive. So what I did is I went on the Big Island, went to Waikoloa area, just the general. I could have done other areas as well. Maui would be probably more, but I picked Waikoloa, and I went to TripAdvisor because they look at they sort of can bring all these are the discounted prices, and I picked sometime in early January, just as far enough not to be that close, but far enough. And January is actually probably more on sale than other areas because a lot of people typically might come in February. We're in the middle of the winter, but January is kind of a low period after the holidays. So what I found was the Marriott Waikoloa Beach is $749. The Hilton Waikoloa is $486. And if you want to go really crazy, you stay at the Hyatt and you're $2,000 a night. There are budget hotels I don't that are in the $300 range, some maybe even to $200, but that may not be as like in the summer or stuff like that. And so the prices, the things I'll do in the timeshares is I'm actually taking the peak periods, not the off-peak periods. So I'm using the highest price I could find for timeshares. So eating out in Hawaii can easily cost $400 a day. Just an example, breakfast can be $35 a person at the Hilton Waikoloa. I believe that's what the price is, and maybe more even at the Marriott. And dinner is easily $100 a night. That's and way more if you get yourself a couple Mai Tais or whatever. So I kind of used the $400 a day for the eating out if you're at a hotel, and I think that's conservative. Not to say you can't, pick your nights when you have good meals and then try to eat local, McDonald's and stuff like that on other times. But that's not really a fair comparison to what you might have in a timeshare. So the next slide is I took a look at Club Wyndham / Worldmark and Hilton, and I picked those two because they're a little simpler on their point. The Marriott has lots of options of seasons, and so it can go really, really expensive, and it's a lot more variable. So I just picked two that are easy, but the Marriott rules are pretty much the same since I own Marriott. So the Hilton Alara, 1 bedroom in Las Vegas, $760 in this peak period. Same with the Hilton Ocean Tower on Waikoloa, and anyway, and then Orlando is the same. They're all the same. The Hiltons are all the same whether you're in Orlando, Las Vegas. The peak periods are the same price. A little more complicated with Worldmark because I wanted to pick one in Las Vegas that was close to the Strip. I didn't want to pick sort of outlying properties because they were a little less points. But typically, when you think of Las Vegas, just think about being by the Strip, and the Alara is right on the Strip, or just off. And so Orlando, I picked Bonnet Creek. There are others, but that's one that's more well known. And then I picked the Worldmark Kona because they don't actually have something in Waikoloa. That they have a Club Wyndham, but it's not in Waikoloa itself. So I just picked the Worldmark one, and I picked the points. So what I did is, bottom line is, the Hilton 7680, which is the premium time to be there. It's $1,075 a week based on my maintenance fees, which turns into roughly $150 a night, maybe $152 to be exact, but that's about what it is. And on Worldmark, it's 10,000 credits, which is about $900 a week or $130 a night. So quite a big difference from what you're paying in the hotels. Okay, the next thing is, I just wanted to say, first of all, there's Costco's at Maui, Oahu, the Big Island, and Kauai. So as long as you're going to those 4 islands, there's a Costco close to the airport. And I always just, if I'm taking an Uber or I have a rental, the first thing I do is go to Costco. I just want you to know there's Safeways on some of the islands as well. Maybe, I'm not sure about all of them, but I'm pretty sure they're on all of them. And there's the local Foodland, is what they call it, and those prices are much higher than they are here in San Francisco Bay Area, or Napa, where I actually am right now. But Costco prices are the same. Now, I don't know everything, but I've manually checked the chicken, and the chicken is the same. Organic chicken is the exact same price. So I was kind of shocked but I guess they send it in large containers. So wherever they send it, they're sending it by rail or by ship, or I'm not sure how they ship stuff. But the hot dogs are the same price. So when you buy the hot dogs, they're the same. I think it's $1.50. It includes the Coke, and you can get the same chickens cooked for the same price. That you can get the rotisserie chickens. Coffee is the same price. Milk's about the same price. I'm pretty sure it was the same price. Can't remember that one for sure. Alcohol prices are similar. Actually, you can get the Hawaiian rums cheaper than you can get them at the actual place where they make them. So the bottom line is, if you don't mind cooking, then Costco makes Hawaii the same price as being at home. So I figured $250 a week for 2 people is kind of my budget for Costco. Maybe you buy a little bit extra. Maybe you have to buy spices that would last more than a week, and olive oil that would last more than a week, a few things like that. But pretty much you can get what you need at Costco to last you a week. So anyway, Costco really makes a big difference, and it's the same as being in the Bay Area. So here's what you have on the timeshare side. It's the same points and the same cost as if you're on the mainland. So it doesn't really be any more expensive, versus hotels are much more expensive in Hawaii. Okay, so here's my famous comparison chart, or infamous possibly. So luxury accommodations, the Worldmark Wyndham was $120 a night. The Hilton Grand Vacations is $150 a night. And then the hotel, I put $500, which, you could do a little bit less than that if you did, but you also could be at $750 if you're doing the Marriott. And these are not like for like. Again, I think the timeshares, because you have a living room and a kitchen, it's more luxurious because you can more relax, whereas the hotel rooms, the beds are right there, and you kind of, you sort of live right where the beds are. So it's really just the bedroom. Food per day, I put $100, even though I think I can spend, $250 for a week's of groceries. That allows me, another one night out or 2 nights out, because you are on vacation. So yeah, you're going to spend the $200 a night a couple times for 2 people, or so, 2 or 3 people. So I kind of wanted to add, I kind of bumped it up a little bit to say, yeah, you are on vacation, so you probably are going to go out to eat dinner. Car, it's the same. Airfare is the same because you got the island the same way. So the daily food and cost is really, for the Worldmark Wyndham, is $220 and it's $250, so not too much different whether you're a Worldmark or a Hilton owner. And the hotel, on the other hand, is $900 a day. And again, the $500 was a good accommodation. You can get a little bit lower on some of the other ones, but that's just I'm trying to be somewhat comparable, even though I think the timeshares are still better than the ones I listed. So anyway, it's quite a substantial difference. And again, it's not much different than using it if you were in the mainland. So my takeaways are Hilton is roughly $650 a night cheaper than staying in a hotel, and the Worldmark's roughly $670 if you go with my numbers. If you have different numbers, you have different results. So if you buy $30,000 to get you that week of timeshares, and I'm just using that as a ballpark number, then it takes you basically 5 weeks, a little bit slightly more than 5 weeks at those rates to come up to pay off the $30,000. So you'd assume that would be 5 years. So you can buy them used, and that would even really greatly reduce that number. Probably within a week you'd pay off, roughly a week you'd pay off buying used. So it's, to me, timeshares are of great value, and particularly I do a lot of Hawaii, so maybe that's why some people say they're not that worth that much, but I find them worth a lot because I go to Hawaii a lot. So here's the other part I want to make is I actually think the quality is better in a timeshare, and it may, maybe there's more luxurious pools and we can argue about that, but having greater space to have one bedroom with a separate living room and a separate kitchen, and usually they have deck. Not all the hotels have decks, so it's just a lot more living space. So I just find that more relaxing. And that's what luxury is to me. It isn't necessarily the size of the pool or so forth. So that's my last takeaway. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Take care.